Why can't Sony do this? Look at that. This man is salty. Better go get yourself a Nintendo Switch 2, man. Look at this dude. Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at all these games coming out, man. Woo! Look at it. He ain't even ecstatic, bro. Look at this dude, bro. You know, it shows you that these PlayStation fanboys are hurt. You might as well go pick up a Switch 2 in June, bro. It's over for PlayStation. Y'all ain't got no games, man. It's crazy that Nintendo showed more games in one direct than what we've had with the PlayStation 5 for 5 years, man. This is embarrassing, man. And what's even more laughable, they got an exclusive From Software game, and y'all didn't even get one with the Bloodborne remake, you know. And I thought Sony acquired them. Ain't that what you said? Oh, we got, you know, some shareholders up there From Software. But yeah, you got Nintendo Switch walking out with an exclusive game from them. This is some crazy work, man. You know these ponies are hurt. Go to the Switch 2 where you feel more successful. Because at the end of the day, this console already won the console war. Go ahead. Is that what y'all still doing? Because PlayStation clearly ain't it, man. It's over for y'all. You know? Bye-bye. Look at this fool, man. And the only thing I happen to be wrong on, I don't know if this is a Switch 2 exclusive, but if it is, I noticed that they made some drastic changes to this game. I'm actually quite excited for Mario Kart World. I think it actually looks promising. Now, at first, I did tell you guys about a lot of the Breath of Wild, Tears of Kingdom remasters, Super Mario Party. I did tell you guys about that. So everything was pretty consistent with what I've been saying. Besides, I would assume this game, because I didn't know they were going to drastically change this game that much. So maybe that explains as to why it's not on Switch 2, as well as the 24-player count. So like I said, man, if you guys ask for my honest opinion, it was good. You know what I mean? I mean, it was a lot of fluff there, you know, but I can avoid that and focus on the games I don't really want to play. Because at the end of the day, Nintendo showed way more than what I've ever seen. This might even been better than Xbox's showcase. I'll probably give it a 10 out of 10. And that's very hard for me to say. You guys know now, obviously, there's some little nitpick complaints like with the Donkey Kong game. I mean, it looked good, but then at the same time, I really just wasn't feeling it. I don't know, maybe because I keep looking back at the Donkey Kong 64 version, but still, it does look like a pretty solid game. I mean, we had a lot of titles here, people, bro. You know, we had cross-generation. I feel like the next generation titles is mostly being done by the third party, but yet again, we're looking forward to some great first-party games from Nintendo.
You can explore new areas and
look at it. This dude is not happy, bro. Look, I mean, come on, man. If this was PlayStation, you'd be like, PlayStation won the generation, bro. We know he ain't no real Nintendo fan. He's like, man, I'm going to have to, because you know he's third party in this relationship. He's like, man, there's a lot of games I got to go buy those kids.
Different type of SD card and will make high-speed data transfer.
First L.
Yep.
Please note that regular micro SD cards used for Nintendo Switch will not be compatible.
Woo! Look at that, man. You know, some of the accessories. These are things that I try to tell you guys. I try to warn y'all about that, man. Now we're dealing with a PS Vita situation. I mean, that's probably why Nintendo said we're going to give them the 256 gigabytes right off the gate so they don't have to feel inclined to have to buy, because they understand that if people got to go out there and buy a memory card, especially for something they already have for the Switch 1, and you can't take it to the Switch 2, people are going to be like, now my question is, why doesn't it not work, though? It should still work. It should just only work for the Switch 1 games. No different than PS5 with the internal and the external, you know, drive for the Xbox One and the PS4 titles. I really think this was a cap from Nintendo. I personally do, because that should have nothing to do with the Switch 1 games. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, you know how they could have rectified this problem? They could have had two compartments. One for the old Switch 1 and then one for Switch 2. Y'all like, you know what, GameStop, that's a good idea. But obviously, they want to control your purchases. This is DRM. This is what they do, man. This is digital rights management, bro. They're like, nah, you got to go buy another card. We're going to have to go buy the Espresso edition. Crazy.
Additionally, to transfer data from Switch to Switch 2.
Jamboree TV.
Yeah, I told you guys they were going to do this. I told you they weren't going to just let those Switch games. I mean, look, you got Switch 2 versions of the same games available on Switch 1. Now, mind you, I think this was an L from Nintendo, but like I said, this wasn't all of what they've shown. They showed the new Donkey Kong game, which I don't know if it's cross-gen or not, but like I said, man, we got a lot of this, bro. A lot of the games that are supposed to stand on Switch 2 just happen to be on Switch 1 already. So I don't know if people are going to just want to go out there and buy the Switch 2 right away, because to be honest with you, you still should be pretty comfortable with your Switch 1, because you're still going to get a few titles. Unless you're talking about the Hogwarts Legacy, which y'all have. but probably a better version. Mostly from a third-party perspective is why you would pick up the Switch 2 in Mario Kart world. That's about it. That's probably going to be my launch exclusive, honestly, because and maybe we'll see. I heard the Metro is running at 4K 60, so I mean, I didn't know all that. So I just maybe they showing Switch 1 gameplays. That's why it don't look that good. But if that's the case, then that means that we got played, and Metroid Prime 4 was really a Switch 2 game and not a Switch 1. You know what I mean? They kind of pulled that underneath the table. I mean, that was kind of disingenuous. Like I said, there's a lot of L's here, too. I mean, if I want to sit there and be nitpicky, I can. But I will say, though, Nintendo's future definitely looks a lot better than what you're getting with PlayStation. That I can guarantee you.
Nintendo Switch 2.
He's not happy. Look at this dude.
Yeah, I'm definitely not getting that at all.
Nintendo Switch 2 players.
He's salty, bro. But you bought Last of Us Remake. You bought Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, but you don't want to sit there and upgrade. You got to go ahead, upgrade it.
Who already owns Super Mario.
Look at it. This man's, yo, he was such a pony, bro. And you know what the funny thing is? People be like, yo, Gamester, you know I'm the most critical when it comes to, talk about these gaming companies. And I'm sitting there telling you that the Switch 2 is looking quite good. Not crazy like everybody's making it. I would say it looks okay. I wouldn't say it's the greatest of all time, but it most definitely looks okay. Okay? You know what I mean? Especially considering that this is the launch of Nintendo Switch. Most of these games are coming out at June 5th. It's crazy, bro. I'm like, man, I was like planning on playing Atomfall, South of Midnight. Now you got Nintendo doing this. It's like, bro, this is too many games, bro. I feel like I want to quit gaming with all these games that we got going on here, man. We got too many games, bro. Now games like this, I'm probably more likely going to avoid, just like what he said. But still, there's definitely a lot of good games there. That Donkey Kong game was promising,
Plus Jamboree
It's
TV
about $30
by
for
purchasing
that.
an upgrade pack.
Higher definition graphics.
Told y'all about that.
Looks better,
Games
but
doing
not
another.
Specific service that's exclusive.
Yo, he is being so negative with this, bro. It's crazy, bro. You thought he would have been one of the first people hyping it. Even Player Essence is pretty negative about this. This dude is extremely negative. They doing far better. Now, mind you, these games was kind of an L. Like, nobody's going to sit there in front. But like I said, it adds to the overall value of the package. Now, mind you, if this is all Nintendo showed, I'll be sitting here giving this a 1 out of 10. But that clearly wasn't the case, Dreamcast guys. Stop the cap, bro. Like, it shows you they don't even want Nintendo to do well. Even though you guys capped for the Switch 1 so hard, I bet you guys thought I was going to be the one making the negative video. It's always the opposite. Like, if I make a negative video, they speak positive about it. If I speak positive about something, then they're negative about it. But I will say one thing. When I'm positive on something, that most people going to be like, dang, Gamester, normally, he's usually, always calling these games out. So if he thinks that the Switch 2 is looking promising, then most definitely it's promising.
Games.
If the patch is like $10, I'm
Next,
cool with that.
I'd like to introduce a brand new.
That's probably more likely what it is. Like I said, we've talked about this on my when I was gaming or whatever. So a few people were right, yeah, about the upgrade, but they probably sell a Switch 2 version just to make up for the people that didn't buy the game. I mean, it's cool, guys. Like, I'm not saying that it ain't cool, but that was probably the biggest L that Nintendo took. It was those games and as well as the micro SD card.
Originally released in 2001. Here are the titles that will be available at launch. A Legend of Zelda game that looks like a cartoon come to life.
I'm not happy about this. All right, let's talk. Game, you were looking at. See, you was just positive. Now, look, you see what I'm saying? When they're positive, I'm negative. It's like the opposite, bro. Like, we ain't even April Fool's Day, but I'm being honest, bro. I'm not happy about this. We should have got the Wind Waker. We got an inferior version of the game. We should have had the Wii U version be imported, bro. I would have preferred for them to do that. I would have bought it for $40, $60. Keep it up. I mean, yeah, $60 might have been steep, but I would have preferred to have a better version that I could own and keep. You guys talk about how Nintendo, they're about physical media. Well, clearly, this is the reason why y'all weren't getting those GameCube games. All those GameCube games y'all were asking for, we kind of already had an idea that they were going to push that through Switch 2 instead. Nintendo probably realized, like, hold on, we could make more money off $50 a year than if we just sold them a game for $50 to $60. I told you guys, this is the future of gaming. Now, I'm not too fond with this. The Wii U version is going to go up now. Oh, yeah, the Wii U version, Twilight Princess version of the Wii U is going to go up in numbers now, considering that Nintendo is not trying to make a remastered version of a game they already made. It's not like the game wasn't made. You got these versions on the Wii U. All you had to do was port them to the Switch. I mean, you could have ported it to the Switch too, but Nintendo for some reason didn't want to. And we already know why that is.
This is one of my predictions.
Controlling the wind using a mysterious...
Look, I mean, it looks jaggy, bro. It don't even look that clean, man. Let's come on, bro. Don't cap for this, bro. Don't cap. I mean, a guy that talks about I like to own my physical media is out here capping and damage controlling for playing Wind Waker through a subscription service, which you have to stream the game to play it. But you know what's even more laughable about that is the fact that you're not getting this on PlayStation. Oh, you're trying to tell me that Nintendo is thinking more about their classic catalog than PlayStation? What are we doing here?
Link set sail on an adventure across the Great Sea.
I'm not looking forward to this game. I'm sorry. I got a GameCube. I got it modded. I'll play it like that.
During the series first, machine customization and story mode. Get ready to experience.
We'll be publishing a creator's voice article with a games director.
Interesting.
That's all from our publishing and development partners.
Crazy, bro. It's over, bro. Trade your PlayStation 5. Now I see why when somebody said, I'm going to trade my PS5 for the Switch too. I see why. Because look where the game's at, man. Now, let's do a recap, man. I'm going to do my Metroid Prime 4. I mean, I didn't like the fact that Nintendo brought up the 120 FPS. Now, it's good that that's what you're getting with Metroid Prime 4, but that also means they're not pushing the envelope either. You know what I mean? Because if that's PS4 Pro's specs like that, clearly the game is running a little bit lower than what the game is supposed to, because even the Pro couldn't even do that for most of their games. So we kind of know that's why it looks kind of, a little outdated. But like I said, nonetheless, 4K, 60 frames, 1080p, 120 FPS. I mean, even Nintendo is getting on the bandwagon with that. You know what I'm saying? And that's from a portable device, not even a home console. So like I said, I think the Switch 2 was good. I really do. If I had to break it down realistically, it probably would be like a 9. You know what I mean? A 10 is like from a fanboy perspective. But it's definitely a lot better than what a lot of these companies are doing. So Microsoft, including Nintendo, are bringing the gamers the games that people want to play, while Sony is doing absolutely nothing. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, why are you throwing Sony? They're not doing nothing, bro. You see Xbox coming out with games. You see Nintendo coming out with games. And you don't see Sony coming out with anything. But yet, for some reason, y'all continue to keep defending them. Okay? Like I said, yeah, we know Nintendo's doing a lot of wrong with the Switch, too. I can sit there and nitpick. The memory card, that's an excuse. They could have just had it through 2 compartments. One for Switch 1, one for Switch 2 if they wanted ease of access to your old games. Now with all this transferring crap, the DRM, there's a lot of bad things with the Switch 2. But like I said, I think the third party is going to kind of, like if you played a lot of the third party on these consoles, you're not really going to want to care about playing these on a portable. The only ones I'll probably pick up is the ones that I like on these consoles, which I haven't really seen much. So the third party is kind of a little lackluster if you didn't already play these games already. But it shows you that you're going to get a lot of third party games with the Switch too. You know, you even got Madden coming over to it. So they're going to have games. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have games that they didn't at one point have access to. You know what I mean? But like I said, the Nintendo Switch 2 is killing it. I'll probably make some more videos on it later on. Just wanted to kind of do a quick recap. And the Donkey Kong game looks good. You know what I mean? I'm just happy to see that they're putting out games. Kirby Riders. I'm just happy to see that Nintendo's pushing out games. Now, mind you, we don't know how good these games are. There could be some problems. Oh, I want to talk about the Donkey Kong game. The one thing I don't like about it is that it looks weird. You know what I mean? You're not chasing bananas, you're chasing gems. Like, it felt very out of place. I don't know if any of you guys understand where I'm coming from. It looked good. I'm not going to sit there in front, but it looked like they had another Nintendo mascot, like King Dedede, whatever, and they just said, just put Donkey Kong in it. That's how it felt. That Donkey Kong game didn't really feel like a Donkey Kong game. I know it sounds crazy, but I was quite happy to see that he had the same running animation that I think was seen in Donkey Kong 64, right? It was kind of cool, like I said, but it was just not seeing Diddy Kong, not seeing all the other Kongs was kind of weird in a way, but you know what I mean? It just felt like a reboot. It felt like something completely, which is cool, but it just felt like I wanted to see Diddy Kong and maybe the other Kongs. It just felt very, very awkward. You know what I mean? It felt like it was a whole nother game, and they just said, just put Donkey Kong in it. I would have preferred if they chose the Donkey Kong. Well, obviously they want to sell the game, but if they just used the Donkey Kong, well, one of the Kongs from Donkey Kong Country 3, because that's kind of how he looked like, you know, the baby version, but all grown up. That you know, but maybe they want to call it Donkey Kong because they want that money. Just like when you play Donkey Kong Country 2 and you don't play as Donkey Kong. Just like when you play Donkey Kong Country 3 and you don't actually play as Donkey Kong, you play as the baby one. So he kind of looked more like that. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Like I said, take care. Nintendo clearly is killing Sony. You know, the Switch 2 has already won the console war.